i.e. Tesla, looks into the future. Popular Science Monthly, November 1928. Towards the end of the interview, Tesla was asked which arena of science appealed to him. Well, we expected him to mention radios, airplanes, the world of wireless. It was not the induction motor. Instead, itself was the discovery of a principle that preceded the induction motor, the rotating magnetic field. Tesla answered, "Rotating magnetic fields were dearest to my heart. When I made the discovery of the rotating magnetic field, I was a very young man. The revelation came after years of concentrated thought. It was my first great thrill. It was not only a valuable discovery capable of extensive practical applications, it was a revelation of new forces and new phenomena unknown to science before." Now, the interesting part comes in a second quote, okay? Obviously, Tesla had many, many inventions. People think that Tesla is talking about his AC generator as his dearest invention, but that's absolutely not the case. And nobody's ever put this together before. It said, "No," Dr. Tesla said with some feeling, "I would not give up my rotating magnetic field discovery for 1,000 inventions." Now, people always thought that was Tesla talking about his discovery of the invention for the AC generator. Obviously, Nikola Tesla thought about the moon going around the Earth and chasing current and the invention of the generator, but that's not it. For 1,000 inventions, however valuable, designed merely as mechanical contraptions to deceive the eye and the ear. People always thought that was him talking about his AC generator invention above all else, but that's not the case. Then saying, 1,000 years hence, the telephone and the motion picture camera may be obsolete, which will be the case. The telephone's basically gone. We have cell phones now. Motion picture will probably be replaced by holograms. But the principle of the rotating magnetic field will remain vital, living a thing for all time to come. Now, this is not the important quote. It is, but it's only half of it. The important quote comes a year later after this one. This was from New York World, November 29, 1929, page 10, column 4 through 5, to the editor of the World. This is Tesla. Like his, meaning Thomas Edison, lamp, my induction motor may be discarded and forgotten. Tesla is talking about his most serious invention, his induction motor, may be discarded and forgotten. This is Tesla talking. In the continuous evolution of the electric motor, electric motor arts, in other words, improvements on the electric. But my rotating magnetic field with its marvelous phenomena and manifestations of force, i.e. from magnetism, will last as long as science itself. The point to be taken away from those two quotes above in conjunction with each other out of the mouth of Nikola Tesla himself is that Tesla's great pride out of his countless inventions was not his induction motor invention, rather the discovery of magnetic field reciprocation. So this fact has never been seen or deciphered by anybody.
Give you a choice if you want to return or do you really want to go on. It's your decision. But whenever they decide to go back, they never go all the way to that bright light. I found out what that bright light is. This is why they don't actually die, because they don't go all the way. The bright light is a huge energy source. You may even want to call it God if you want to, but it's a powerful energy source. And when you actually do leave your body and die, you go through that light. And when you go through that light, the silver cord is severed at that time. You're all attached with a silver cord, our spirit, which is the real you, and the body the entire time you're alive. Because every night you go out of your body. Everybody does. The spirit, the real you, imagine how bored it would get sitting around waiting for the body to wake up. The body's what? So everybody else is coming in with their nice little plan. So it's all going to clash. So what they always say about best laid plans, I've had them go through the death experience and they'll say, what happened? I had it all figured out. life happened. So it's not perfect, but that's what it's all about. We're learning. We're learning lessons. We're trying to get better at it. We want to get off of the wheel until we can be finished and return to God and never have to come back here again. That's the idea. So we come in with our plan anyway. And to make it even more complicated, you're coming in with your plan, but you can't remember. Now loud. What are the rules? Over there, everything is so clear, so plain, makes so much sense. As you come in, the blinders come down. You forget everything. And I asked them, I said, wouldn't it be a lot easier if we knew why we were coming here? We remembered. If we knew our connection with all these other people, wouldn't that make it a whole lot easier? They said, no, it wouldn't be a test if you knew the answers.
consciousness and our perceptions. One of the things we identified in our research was the state we now call coherence. And what we found was that when we're feeling positive emotions, like we're really appreciating the sunset, or really feeling love or compassion or care for someone, that the heart beats out a very different message. The heart generates by far the largest rhythmic electromagnetic field produced in the body. And what we've now found is that if we look at the spectrum analysis of the magnetic field radiated by the heart, that emotional information is actually encoded and modulating into those fields. So by learning to shift our emotions, that's changing the information we're encoding into the magnetic fields radiated by the heart, and that can impact those around us. We are fundamentally and deeply interconnected with each other and the planet itself, and what we do individually really does count and matters.
And center to center, there is no problem, torus to torus, to connect. So, you and I, center to center, very distinct, different beings, but center to center, through consciousness, we intimately can connect. And that's the same, we can connect with the entire universe. The human heart is now documented as the strongest generator of both electrical and magnetic fields in the body. Now, this is important because we've always been taught that the brain is where the action is. The brain.
This right here, folks, is essentially everything from the atom to the planets, to the galaxies, to the universe. Everything has a black hole at its center. This is Earth you're looking at. Black hole at the center. I showed you earlier in the video how to figure out the size of the black hole at the center of the Earth. And there you go. I also postulate that we have a black hole inside of us. It's in our heart. Everything in God's creation has a black hole at its center. And we're all connected via that black hole to the Orion Nebula, the trapezium open star cluster. That's why the Michelangelo painting in the Sistine Chapel, you know, he may not have known what he was drawing or painting, but that's where it came from, the collective. What we have here is pillars of creation. One on the left is the positive. One on the right is the negative. The one in the middle is the combined two to make matter manifest in our reality. You see, there has to be a mechanism in which energy is transmuted to physical, to matter, to what we can touch, taste, and hear. And God is always at the center. Pillars of creation, black sun in the middle. Our black hole sun is in the Orion Nebula. We're connected to it. That's it. That's what all the secret societies were about. The all-seeing eye is a representation, symbolizes the black hole itself, the window to the source, the window to God's soul. That's why it's on our dollar bill. That's why it's everywhere. That's why it's prevalent in the whole world. The Masons knew it, didn't they? Right here, the Star of David is not merely a, haphazardly drawn star. It's the black hole is the veil of creation, and that's what this is representative of. There's a black hole at the center of every galaxy. Black hole at the center of everything. Creation originates from a balance of two equal and opposite magnetic forces, an invisible force that we can't see, touch, or hear, but yet it is the most prevailing force in the universe. It's what makes matter tick, folks. The infinite nine formula. Vortex math. It is the very foundation of all that exists. We are magnetism. And magnetism is so much more than just us. It's everything we know. People tend to believe only in what they can see, which is why the true nature of creation has eluded us for so long. In order to understand the secret of creation, one would have to believe in something they can't see. Now, isn't that the white elephant in the room when it comes to black holes? You can't see them, so, there's always going to be skeptics. You can't see, it makes sense. Okay, and then we're going to get down to, have you ever thought of what the Ark of the Covenant was? What exactly is the Ark of the Covenant, and how did it work? The Ark of the Covenant was basically a portable magnetic field implosion generator that created a magnetic vortex, or what we refer today as a black hole. And I'll stop with the pictures and reading for a second and give you my take on that. The black hole itself was the weapon of the gods. It was a means to move heavy stones. It overcame the Earth force, which is the black hole. The Ark of the Covenant was basically a portable magnetic, I've said that. It is based on the same principle that is responsible for the creation of all the things in the universes, the galaxies, the solar systems, the stars, the planets, the humans, the atoms, and even some subatomic particles. In other words, our ancient ancestors discovered a way to create an unstable magnetic field and were able to manipulate that field to implode in on itself, recreating a stable magnetic vortex. The Egyptians referred to this power as the black sun. Black old sun. The dual magnetic polarity of the vortex converges on its equator, creating a field of equilibrium, the yin and yang, which is the space, in which particles become radiated by a central source, singularity. This is what we see as matter. We know space is equalized because of Newtonian law that has shown us that in our universe, the amount of energy exerted by a force is equal to the amount of energy acted upon that force, cause and effect. Meaning, with all things being equal, you can get out what you put in, and even more. And if you could build such a device, you could literally create your own personal black hole. Led Scallion did. That's how he moved the coral for the Coral Castle. You could use nature's own formula for creation to harness the energy that is responsible for creation itself. And in doing so, you would piss God off. You would unleash a hailstorm of... This is why everything's hidden from us, folks, because it's supposed to be. This was the forbidden fruit. We weren't supposed to eat from the tree of knowledge. This is it, the black hole technology. Creation itself. It's not genome splitting. It's not DNA tampering. It's black hole manipulation. Because just think, if you could create a black hole, you have infinite power, you have infinite resource, you could do whatever you want with it. Because it is the creation mechanism of all that exists. The first prevailing thought in our existence, when God created heaven and earth, was the toroidal reciprocating magnetic field. The infinite nine. God made a field, and ether made it go. I mean, look at it. It's just self-explanatory. It's just so amazing that this has been hidden from us forever. That's what all the symbols are. The key are in the logos, in the symbols. How many times have you seen that? But essentially, that's what this is, folks. That's it right there. It's the veil of creation. Tell me what you guys think. Like, subscribe, share. Thank you, Trippin, for your contribution. Sorry it took so long, and hopefully it'll live up to your expectations.